Okay, we are live. Hi everyone, welcome to TechMaestro. My name is Karan, and today I have Tejas with me. In this video, we'll talk about decoding the entire software engineering interview process at Qualcomm. So Tejas is a software engineer at Qualcomm, and let's hear it from him himself. So why don't you introduce yourself, Tejas?
Yeah, hey guys. As Karan said, I am Tejas and I'm currently working as a software engineer at Qualcomm from more than a past year. And it's been a privilege to share my journey with you all. And thanks, Karan, for having me here.
Thank you for coming here and sharing your experience and all the knowledge that you have gained in last 1.5 year. So again, thank you so much. So let's start with the process directly. So we'll start with how did you apply, and basically why don't you tell us like how did you apply? What was the entire application part in your entire interview process?
Yes, sure. So during my last sem, I was I was in a tier three college, so we didn't had much opportunities here, good companies coming. So I was looking for offline, off-campus opportunities, and I got a referral to Qualcomm via a friend. So the first step was the recruiter contacted me with a link to create the profile there. And then I created a profile, uploaded my resume and everything. So then I got an update from the recruiter that your resume is good to go and we'll have a online assessment. So the first thing was online assessment. It was around 45 minutes. Had three questions and some MCQs around CS fundamentals.
Okay.
So that was the first round.
Okay.
After that, I got a response a couple of weeks back that they are good to go with further interviews. So they directly
Okay.
shared the interview schedule. It was three back-to-back interviews on
Okay.
the same day.
Okay.
And then I asked the expectations around those interviews, and I was pretty much, uh, I was convinced that it would be around data structures, algorithm, and coding in general.
Okay.
So So the initial round went well, and then I got to hear back from the recruiter a week back that they're moving further with the next round, and that will be from SD team, the San Diego team.
Okay.
Qualcomm has the headquarters in SD, and someone from that team will reach out to interview me. So that
Okay.
interview was scheduled actually pretty late, like after 3 weeks from the previous three rounds.
Okay.
Then that was a manager round. So that was a combination of DSL plus behavior questions.
Okay.
And after that round, I was after so I got a good feedback from that round also. And then the recruiter contacted me and shared that they're moving forward with the offer.
Oh, nice, nice. First of all,
And
although it's
yeah.
1 year late, but congratulations on the uh, on the offer again. But okay, so let me just repeat. So for the application process, you said you applied through a referral, and
Yes.
referral worked out. You got a call back from the HR, the recruiter, because your resume was also pretty strong and apt for the role. Then the process for an entry level or an SD1 kind of role is basically first you'll get a online assessment, and then you said there are three coding rounds, again
Yeah.
DSA algorithmic round, which will be taken by an India team, like you said,
Yeah.
by an Indian team.
So,
Then
Indian
the
team.
next, if these go well, that's when a hiring
Yeah.
manager come DSA round will be taken by a team, your concerned team sitting in US, uh,
Yes.
mainly San Diego. The last round is taken by them. Is there any additional round in general, or is that it?
Yeah, so basically, first they take the aggregate of the initial three rounds that happens,
Okay.
and if the feedback is positive, then we move to the fourth round. That is
Okay.
a managerial kind of round, and they are still if they are doubtful. Like in my case, I had one more round after that, and that was also
Okay.
taken by the SD team, someone from the San Diego team.
Okay.
So usually, if they are not like they are
Okay.
on the verge, they could take an additional round.
Okay. So basically, there are minimum. So after online assessment, there are minimum 4 rounds.
Four
But if
rounds.
there is any doubt, they can extend that by 1 or 2 more rounds as well. So depending on
Yes,
your performance in previous 4 rounds, it depends. Like you may get one additional round as well. Is that what
additional.
it means?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, nice. So this was for entry level or an SD1, early SD1 kind of role.
Yeah.
What happens? How does the process change, or how does the process look for a senior candidate, maybe SD2, SD3, and above?
So what I have observed is like for entry level position, they mainly focus around DS algo and
Okay,
your code quality, your coding skills and everything. But as we move forward to the higher positions, no, design comes as a major part in that. So there is like in the initial 3 rounds, 2 rounds maybe can be of design, two design, one DSL go, or it can be like two DSL go plus one design. And majorly they
okay,
focus on low level design in design interviews,
okay,
like strong OOPS concepts, having structured code and everything.
okay. Understood.
And the final
What
round may
what
vary.
happens
Like
after the first 3 rounds?
yeah, yeah. After the first round, depending on the feedback of the initial rounds, the fourth round can vary. Like that depends on mostly on the manager. So it can be around DSL Go or design, and a combination of behavioral question in this.
Okay. So for an SD2, it's mainly, again, the number of rounds are still same. 4 rounds will be taken. Now
Yes.
the focus is not just on coding; they also focus on the design skills as well. Is that what it means? So
Yeah.
you said for the initial 3 rounds, it can be 1 plus 2, which is where 1 is basically DSA and 2 design, or it can be 2 plus 1, where 2 represents DSA and 1 design.
Yes.
And mainly
Yeah.
in design, they focus mainly on low level design, not on high
Low
level
level
design.
design. Yeah.
Okay,
That
that's
is
good.
what the
That's good.
trend we have observed here and what I got from the internal sources.
Okay. Now, once you clear these 3 rounds, once the aggregate of these 3 rounds are good enough, then they move you to the corresponding sister team in the US to interview with the sister teams in US, and you again get a one single round. And now this round can be either a design or DSA or plus behavioral, depending on
Plus
your
behavioral.
previous data points. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Exactly.
understood. So that makes sense. So far we have discussed how does the interview process looks like for SD1, and then the differentiation between SD1 and senior candidates. So the only difference is like the number of rounds remain same, but for
Right.
SD1 and SD2s, the difference is the design. So for SD2 and above, the minimum expectations is like you will be able to code well, you will be able to write modular and good quality code. So that's why they
Good
judge
quality.
you on LLD part as well. That makes sense
Yes.
to conduct that interview. Moving on, like, okay, we know that these are the interviews that will happen. What are I just want to know, like, what is the expectations out of these interviews? You have already told about online assessment, that there it will be a 45 minutes round which will have coding questions plus MCQs. Can you tell a bit
MCQs.
about coding round? What kind of questions are asked in coding round? Level of questions? How many questions are asked? So that our viewer can know
Yes.
this as well.
Yeah. So generally, each coding round is around an hour, and the expectation is you solve at least two questions, and the question are around lead code medium level. Uh,
Okay.
Mostly in what I observed in my round, the combination was medium plus medium or easy plus medium.
Okay.
Lead code easy medium around, and the expectation is general DSL2 expectation that you need to the question will be a bit ambiguous. You need to have clarifying questions, then have all the edge cases covered and write a proper production level code,
Okay.
and then try run that. Yeah,
Okay. I think it makes sense. Like, this is a very common expectations.
common
So, like you said, there are two medium or one easy, one medium question,
one means.
and the expectations is to questions can be abstract, and the expectation of an interviewer is to ask clarifying questions. In fact, this is something that you have to do on a regular day-to-day job. So it makes sense to conduct that kind of behavioral check in an interview as well. Okay, so moving on to the LLD part, what are the expectations in LLD? How does what does Qualcomm expect in LLD questions or LLD interview rounds?
Yeah. So in general, in an LLD question, you given to design a system in an hour. So you
Okay,
could discuss the features that we need with the interviewer, and mostly interviewer also focuses on a bit theory around OOPS and data OOPS
okay,
uh, part of the structure, everything. So he would ask some theory questions in between, and around like in between you design the system, and end-to-end system is expected in that one.
okay. So just to repeat again, so in LLD, the expectations is basically you will be asked theoretical questions as well, theoretical questions on OOPS, solid design principles, and along with that, you are expected to design a low-level design of a system. So guys, we'll discuss about what does low-level design actually mean and how to prepare for it in the next segment. So before that, I want to ask you, like, how do you prepare for all these rounds: online assessment, DSA, LLD, basically all the coding rounds and the LLD rounds? What are your tips for preparation so that whoever is giving interview with Qualcomm, they can ace the interview, they can clear it by flying colors?
Yeah. So I would recommend lead code as the primary tool to use, and giving context will really help with speed. Like you can track your speed, how you are progressing, you solving the problem. And lead code easy and medium questions. Don't focus too much on the hard questions. Medium
Okay,
questions will be enough. And
okay,
around LLD, you could revise your theories, design principles, OOPS principle, and uh, any designing problems you can practice.
okay.
So that would be enough, like basic parking problem and etc. The standard problems mostly, if you could cover all that, that would should be enough.
Okay. So for DSA, like I want to add my bit. It may not be related to Qualcomm, but in general, like if you want to get better at problem solving or DSA coding part, so basically there are a couple of steps that I personally tell everyone and I kind of preach. So first of all, focus on the basics. Try to learn the basics of the data structures and algorithms. Basics like understand how array works, how what are the different data structures like stack, queues, hash map, trees, BSTs, etc. When are what to use when, right? And then different major algorithms like binary search, linear search, cadence algorithm in arrays, then BFS, TFS, etc. There are numerous. So focus on the basics first, and then jump on and practice. Start with easy medium, and then move on to the medium questions, then a little bit on hard questions as well, just in case they get asked. So first of all, like I said, focus on basics, then move on to the problems one by one. And one thing that they just
Exactly.
mentioned and specifically highlighted is track your progress. It is very important to know where you are, where were you 7 or 30 days back, where you are now, and where are you proceeding in next 30 days. So it's very important. And for all these things, we provide first of all, we provide day-to-day daily questions so that you can solve questions consistently, and a tracking mechanism, a sheet, and everything in our community. So why don't forget to join our community. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button so that you get all these resources free of cost, available on uh, available to you, and you can utilize these and get better at your coding skills. Now coming to the LLD part. For LLD, basically, they just also mentioned, so there are basics, theoretical part like OOPS concept, then solid principles, then design principles, design patterns or principles. First of all, focus on them, learn them. And where can you learn them from? So we are maintaining a proper uh, repository where we provide end to end resources structured in a well mannered, so that anybody from the beginning can start and get better at it. Along with that, we provide practice questions as well. So I will attach the link to the GitHub repository in the description below, and link to our Discord community and LinkedIn for both Tejas and me in the description. Don't forget to connect with us, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and get added to the community so that you can actually clarify your doubts and all, and practice along with the community. So moving on to the, so basically this is the part where we discuss like how does the overall interview process looks like. So just to repeat, first of all, for entry level there are 3 coding rounds. There is an
Yes.
online assessment for all the levels. Then the number of rounds
Yes.
is 4 for every level. For entry level or SD1, the main focus is on coding. So all 4 rounds are coding, and at last it can be a behavioral round. But for SD2 and above, the focus is on design plus coding both. So first there can be 1 or 2 coding round, and there can be 2 or 3 uh, design rounds plus behavioral round. So this is the overall process, and to basically prepare, you'll get all the resources in the description below. So moving on, so once you are basically there, let's suppose you got an interview, you clarified the interview. Now the next stage is like, do you want to join Qualcomm or not? So I want to know the experience that you have, Tejas, and the kind of work life balance that you have at Qualcomm, and your overall feedback for the company.
Yeah. So actually, I was very lucky that the team that was assigned to me was a relatively new team, and like we were building all the tools from scratch. So we got to do all the designing part, searching the database accordingly, and figuring out the requirement. All the requirements were quite ambiguous, and we figured out a product out of it. So experience wise, I had a very good experience here, and the work life balance especially is very good here. All the managers especially focus on this work life balance aspect of the corporate thing. And like we have no meeting zones. Then you could take off anytime, like you don't require your manager's approval and everything. You have a lot of holidays, and also Qualcomm provides Qualcomm specific annual holidays. Those are especially around weekends, so you get additional holidays and everything. So work life balance wise, Qualcomm is very good. I will recommend everyone. And they are actually like new work is coming to India, like Indian teams are expanding and very exciting projects are coming to Indians part side of the Qualcomm team.
Okay, so good work life balance and good quality of work. That's like, I think it's a
Yeah.
overall win and win. So I've heard like Qualcomm has really good perks and benefits.
Yes.
Uh, is that so? Like, does Qualcomm have really good perks?
Yeah, they have really good perks. Like they have a couple of reimbursements, like internet and standard reimbursement. Also, they provide they have a stock plan for employees where you get Qualcomm stocks at 15% discount from the market and
Okay,
everything.
that's a good thing.
Apart from that, they have really good campuses and free food. I have not visited the campuses, but I have heard that they have free food and quite great campus offices.
Nice,
So
nice.
really
Free food
looking
is
forward.
definitely a plus one.
Yeah,
So
yeah. But
I've
this
heard like
pandemic, yeah,
I think somebody in the Qualcomm team told me, it might just be you as well while our discussion. So there's a perk for Qualcomm that you can buy any phone that has a Qualcomm chipset, which basically is entire world apart from iPhone these days, and you get a
yeah,
special discount. Is that so?
yeah, yeah. You get a discount if your phone has a Qualcomm chipset, and
That
like
that
you
is
can get
good.
any flagship phone, like any flagship phone you take has a Qualcomm chipset.
Nice, nice, nice. So, Tejas, I'll ask you on this live call. Can you order one for me?
Sure, sure, sure.
Okay, moving to the serious business. Okay, this is all the questions that I had. Any last piece of advice for people who are preparing or who are looking forward to have a career with Qualcomm?
Sure. So I will recommend start practicing DSL Go, and with that, focus a bit on CS fundamentals also. That would be quite helpful. And you like that's it. Like DSL Go
Okay.
and CS fundamental
So
will be enough.
what you meant is like basically practice, get better at your basic skills, DSA, CS fundamental design, get better at it. That's the only key to success in literally any other company as well. So there is no shortcut. So hard work is the only way, right? There is no shortcut, is
Yes.
what you meant. Makes sense. Like I totally agree with you. Once again, thank you so much, Tejas, for joining in with us. And uh, first of all, and thank you so much, everyone who is watching this video till the end. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button and like the video if you like the content, and comment down below if there is any doubt you want to ask Tejas, or if you want to ask me, or if there is something that you want us to cover in the next video. Again, as a
Yes.
last, till you are watching till the last, I and add-on bonus is like you can reach out to Tejas or me for any referral or any help, and we'd love to help you as much as possible. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Bye
Thank
bye.
you, guys. Bye.